Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at Yann Martel's Life of Pi.
Right.
And, this is a work of fiction, of course.
Right.
But even in fiction, I think we can glean insights and aha moments.
Yeah.
And really spark that curiosity to learn more about a certain topic.
Absolutely.
And so this story, I mean, you've probably heard of it, right?
Sure.
It's about this young boy, Pi Patel.
Mm-hmm.
And he survives this shipwreck.
Okay.
And finds himself adrift in the Pacific Ocean.
With a Bengal tiger.
Yeah, a Bengal tiger named Richard Parker.
Richard Parker, that's right.
A very interesting story.
So have you ever thought about
the
deeper questions that this book raises? About survival.
Right.
About faith and the nature of belief.
Storytelling, even.
Storytelling, yeah, absolutely.
It's all kind of intertwined in this book.
Yeah, and to help us unpack all of this.
Right.
We have an expert guest here who is amazing at gleaning insights from even the most unexpected sources. Well, thank you. I try.
So what about this narrative structure of this book? I mean, right away, it's like...
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So unique.
Yeah. Right from the start, Martel kind of plays with our expectations.
Right.
You know, he starts with this author's note.
Yeah.
And he's describing how he came to write the story.
Right.
So it's almost like immediately he's blurring this line between fact and fiction.
Right.
And you kind of start to wonder...
Yeah.
Okay, is this fiction or is this like a true account?
Is this a true account that he's trying to disguise as fiction to protect somebody or
who knows?
Or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, so interesting.
It just sets the stage for, this story where belief is so key.
Absolutely. And then it goes on and we're introduced to Pi.
Right.
And he's actually recounting his tale
to
these Japanese officials that are investigating the shipwreck.
Right.
So, I mean, it adds like another layer of uncertainty there, right?
Totally. It really does.
Is he being straightforward? Is he telling us, exactly what happened?
Right.
Or is he constructing a narrative?
Yes.
In order to
be believed.
To be believable.
Exactly.
And it makes you wonder, is that something that everybody does?
Oh, for sure.
To some degree?
Absolutely. I mean...
Think about how often we tell stories to make ourselves look better. Or to,
Right, to justify our actions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something we can all relate to.
So these early chapters, we see Pi growing up in Pondicherry, India.
Right.
His family runs a zoo, which is not just like a background detail.
No.
But it's really important, I think, to see.
Yeah, it really reveals his deep connection to animals.
Yes.
And it kind of foreshadows... some of the challenges that he's going to face later on.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, he's exploring different faiths.
Yes.
Hinduism, Christianity, Islam. It's not like he's choosing one over the other. He's kind of embracing, he's taking what resonates with him from each one.
Yeah, elements from all of them.
Yeah.
And I think this shows, his open-mindedness.
It shows that he's searching for meaning.
Yeah, he's searching for meaning
in this world that can feel so chaotic and unpredictable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and then disaster strikes.
Right.
The ship carrying Pi and his family to Canada sinks.
It sinks.
He finds himself adrift in this lifeboat.
Yeah, but he's not alone.
He's not alone.
There's a whole menagerie of animals with him.
A zebra.
A
hyena. An orangutan.
And
Richard Parker.
Of course, Richard Parker, the Bengal tiger.
Yeah.
It's like a floating zoo almost.
And it's really interesting how the hyena, it quickly establishes dominance.
Right.
And it's just driven by...
Pure instinct.
Yeah. Survival.
It's survival of the fittest.
In nature. Its actions are violent.
They are.
I mean, you read it and it's like...
It's brutal.
It's brutal.
It's hard to stomach even.
Yeah. And it really...
Makes you question.
Makes you question humanity, right?
Yeah. How could anyone remain hopeful in this kind of situation?
In the face of that.
Yeah.
So...
And yet Pi does.
He does.
He finds a way.
Yeah.
And this is where, his resourcefulness and his understanding of animals really come into play.
Because he realizes...
Yeah.
He can't coexist passively.
No, he has to.
With this tiger.
He has to assert himself.
He has to establish
alpha.
Dominance. Like
really?
he has to
show Richard Parker.
Become the alpha.
Who's boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It's a fascinating dynamic.
This teenage boy taming a wild beast.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
With sheer willpower and ingenuity.
Right.
And he creates this whole training program.
He does.
For Richard Parker.
Yeah, using a whistle for commands.
Right.
Dividing the lifeboat into territories.
Right.
He even builds a raft. For a temporary escape, it's really quite ingenious.
Well, and it's a constant
battle.
Battle for dominance.
Yeah.
Like a dance. This delicate dance.
Between predator.
Yeah, predator and prey.
Yeah, right.
Where one wrong step could be fatal.
Absolutely.
But, it's not just about...
It's not just physical
survival.
No, it's so much more than that.
Pai's mental and spiritual fortitude are really...
They're equally important.
Yeah, equally important.
Yeah, he talks to Richard Parker.
He does.
He keeps this diary.
Yeah.
And he really clings to his faith.
Yes.
Like he needs something.
Yeah, he seeks connection and meaning wherever he can find it.
Right, yeah.
And, it makes me think about how all of us have that need to believe.
We do. It's
especially when faced with unimaginable challenges.
Yeah, something greater than ourselves.
Absolutely.
And his journey is just, punctuated.
Right. By these surreal encounters.
Yeah.
This bioluminescent sea.
Amazing.
Transforms the night into this,
magical spectacle.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, right? This floating island inhabited by meerkats.
Right. What is that all about?
I know.
So bizarre.
I mean, it really...
You start to question.
It blurs the lines.
Reality.
What's imagined.
What's
imagined.
And he hallucinates.
And you really start to question, Pai's reliability as a narrator.
Right. Exactly. Are we getting the unvarnished truth here?
Yeah. Are we?
Or is this,
the truth.
A story shaped by trauma
and
the desperate need to find meaning in all this suffering?
Exactly. And then the ending.
Oh,
we like to pause there.
Pause there.
Yeah.
I think the ending of this book.
I think it's best experienced firsthand.
Yeah.
It's something you really need to just...
It challenges the reader.
Read and sit with.
And ponder.
In profound ways.
Yeah, it really makes you confront your own biases and beliefs.
Absolutely.
It makes you question the nature of truth itself.
Right. What do we choose to believe and why?
Yeah, and why?
It's a big question.
It is a big question.
And I think Martel does a great job of leaving that up to us.
She does.
Yeah.
So join us for part 2.
Please do.
As we delve into those profound questions.
Yes.
And unpack the deeper layers.
I'm excited.
Of Martel's masterpiece.
You too.
All right, see you there.
Okay.
This book, Life of Pai, it operates on these multiple levels.
Oh, yeah.
On the surface, you have this thrilling adventure story, testament to human resilience, against these overwhelming odds.
Yeah, and nature.
But then beneath that, there's all this symbolism and these philosophical questions.
Right.
A deep exploration of belief.
It's all there.
It's all woven together.
Yeah. And, we talked about Pai's multi-religious upbringing, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam.
Right.
How does that play into his survival?
Right.
Beyond just providing comfort.
I think, if you think about those animals on the lifeboat.
Yeah.
You can kind of see them as representing different parts of Pai's personality.
Okay.
Even human nature itself.
Interesting. Okay.
You've got the zebra with the broken leg representing vulnerability.
Right.
The orangutan, a mother mourning her child, representing compassion, that instinct to nurture. And then you have the hyena, embodying that primal aggression.
Yeah, the darker
side of survival.
Yeah.
The things we do when we're just desperate.
And Richard Parker.
Ah, yes.
The most enigmatic, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Right. Is he simply a fearsome predator?
Right.
The symbol of the untamed forces of nature?
Yeah. Is it just that or
is there something more to him?
Yeah.
Something that reflects Pai's own struggle.
Internal struggles.
Right. And that's where those deeper questions about faith and truth come in.
Okay.
Because, Pai is faced with this unimaginable hardship.
Right.
And he creates a story, this narrative that helps him cope, find meaning in all of his suffering. But how much of that story is actually true?
Yeah, I mean, he does present the Japanese officials with that second...
He offers them
realistic.
this alternate version.
Yeah.
without the animals.
Filled with just like human brutality and despair.
Right. A much darker.
And it's like he's acknowledging that sometimes even the most fantastical stories
have this darker, more grounded counterpart.
Yeah. And it really makes you think about our own need to believe.
It does.
Right? Like, do we choose that story with the tiger?
Right. The one with hope and wonder.
Yeah.
Even if it might not be entirely believable.
Right. Do we just kind of want to believe it?
Yeah. Or do we prefer that bleak realism?
The second story, yeah.
Right. Acknowledging the cruelty, but sacrificing the comfort of a hopeful narrative.
Yeah.
It's a tough choice.
It is a tough choice. And Pi even asks, which story is the better story?
He poses that question.
Yeah. And it's not.
But he doesn't answer it.
It's not for him to say.
He leaves it to us.
He leaves that choice to us,
right,
the readers.
It's such a powerful move.
It is.
Because it forces us to really examine,
our own biases.
Our own beliefs.
The ways we construct meaning.
Yeah. And that's what makes this book so
powerful. So enduring,
Yeah.
It's not just about surviving a shipwreck.
Right.
It's about so much more.
It's about believing and meaning.
The human need to believe.
Yeah.
To find meaning in suffering.
And the narratives that we create.
Yes. The stories we tell ourselves.
To help us through.
To make sense of it all.
Yeah, the complexities of life.
Exactly.
We've been talking about a lot of things with this book.
Yeah.
The symbolism.
Yeah.
The blurred lines between what's true and what's not.
That power of belief.
Absolutely.
But really what resonates most with me
is
the impact of storytelling itself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Pi's survival is not just about, physical resilience.
Yeah.
But his ability to create a narrative.
Right. To weave a story.
Which sustains him.
Yeah. And it's fascinating how Martel really highlights that storytelling as a survival mechanism.
In this vast emptiness of the Pacific.
Right.
He's all alone. With only Richard Parker.
Right.
Pi's stories are his lifeline.
They give him purpose,
right,
a connection to something bigger than himself.
Yeah, to something beyond
his immediate situation. Yeah.
He creates a world within the lifeboat.
He does.
Where a boy and a tiger can coexist.
It's amazing.
And even the most mundane tasks become meaningful.
Yeah, he finds meaning in everything.
Yeah, and it makes you think, stories can shape our perception.
I care.
Give us solace and strength.
In the darkest of times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we come back to that ending.
The ending.
2 versions of the story.
And he's not really asking,
Which is true. He's asking which is the better story.
Better. And
It's subtle, but it's profound.
It's a subtle distinction.
Because he's acknowledging that truth can be subjective.
Yeah.
And the stories we choose to believe...
Yeah, they say more about us.
They say more about us than the events themselves.
Than about what actually happened.
Right.
So
it begs the question...
Which story do you choose to believe?
Yeah, which one resonates with you?
The one with the animals, with the fantastical elements?
The boy and the tiger.
The boy and the tiger, this unlikely bond.
Right.
Or the bleaker.
The more realistic one.
Yeah.
Stripped of all the magic.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer.
There isn't.
And I think
that's what makes this book
so special. It lets us engage on our own terms.
And find our own meaning.
Find meaning in the narrative that speaks to us.
And it reminds us that
even in a world,
even in this world,
defined by harsh reality,
there's room for wonder.
There's room for imagination.
For a good story.
For the power of a good story.
This is a journey that stays with you.
It really does.
It sparks questions.
Yeah.
Challenges your assumptions.
And it leaves you with a sense of awe.
Yeah. At the resilience of the human spirit.
And the power of storytelling.
Absolutely.
If you haven't already.
You really need to experience this journey.
Pick up a copy of Life of Pi.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the show notes.
Yes.
To purchase the book.
Do it.
And while you're there,
yes,
subscribe to the deep dive.
Yeah, we've got more deep dives coming.
For more, explorations of ideas and knowledge. And
yes.
Don't forget to share this episode.
Please do.
With anyone who loves a good story. A thought-provoking discussion.
Anyone who just appreciates a good book.
Or the power of belief.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep questioning.
And keep believing in the power of stories.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time.